Okay, hello everyone again. Uh, my name is Fernando Zagatti. I am a mining engineer here in Data Mine Africa, and it's a pleasure to be presenting you the OR Controller Part 2 today. We'll be presenting the drawing dig lines and creating mining blocks. I would like to thank you for being here with us and uh, spending your time. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can contact us uh, through our contacts, email, telephones. So let's move with the presentation. So talking a little bit about what we talked last week. This is the data mine product range. Our controller is mostly on the operations range here as a production geology software, but it also can do resources and reserves role. So you can use it for resource estimation and reserves and everything on the geology side, but we're talking mostly on the production geology side. Okay. As we talked last week, if you haven't seen, it's available online on our GoToWebinar page. So you can watch it there if you've lost it, or if you want to rewatch. And today we're going to talk about the steps 4 and 5 that create mining blocks, which is using a grade control model. We'll draw the dig lines and set the mining flitches to create the blocks, the mining blocks, and export it to see in plotting maps or Excel spreadsheets. And then we talk a little bit about reconciliation. Okay. So here is a step by step of what we're doing today. We're going to start with the create mining blocks activity, which requires us to define flitch heights and separate them with commas or spaces when we're defining. Then we're going to select one of the flitches to do the design of the jig lines. Okay. Once we've done that, we move to the second flitch and repeat the process. This is pretty much what you get from the final result of the mining blocks, and a quick evaluation report with some selected fields for our system. Okay, so this is what we expect to see. And finally, talking about the reconciliation, we can have a report like this on an Excel spreadsheet with a resource model grade and a grade control grade, comparing two different surfaces, okay, for a specific block or even more. This one has two blocks, 604 and 606. All right. So, as I promised you, today we're going to talk about Flitches configuration, dig lines design, mining blocks creation, evaluation reports, Excel reports, and plotting maps and reports as well. Let me get our software here.
Okay, so moving on to our controller, we're gonna run the create mining blocks activity, and then we're gonna talk about the publishing and the reconciliation. Alright, so let's start this activity here, and the first message we'll get is a warning about material between the adjusted bench crest and the upper depletion surface, which can be some material that was left there from the blast before, right? So it's a load and haul problem, and it will not be included in our evaluations. So we'll just disconsider that, and we're gonna define the flitch heights. Okay. As you can see here, it is defined to be as a 5-5 flitch. We can use spaces as well, but it's important that you put in top to bottom order. Alright, so if you want a 6 and 4 flitches, you need to put it like this. So the 6 will be the top one and the 4 will be the bottom one. In this case I want to be 5 by 5, and we can use commas or spaces, okay? Alright, so once we've done that, we can move to the model depletion section. Here we'll talk about surfaces, okay? So in the drop down here, you can see that I have 3 different surfaces, and I can even browse for new ones. So I have an April topography, a March topography, and a bench crest elevation, which is a flat surface on the 410 meters high, okay, on the elevation 410. And for the lower depletion, we have the pit desire wireframe, which is our final pit, and bench to elevation, which is a flat surface as well on the 400 elevation. Okay, we can browse for another one as well. It's highly recommended that we use the actual topo and the actual pit design wireframe, okay, because we want to be as accurate as the software can generate. So avoid using flat surfaces will help to do reconciliation and to have a better control of what you're getting to your plant. Okay, here we can select on the drop down of the flitches which flitch do you want to work now. We're going to start with the flitch A, and here we have some tools. Alright, so we have create the new string, insert points, move points, delete the whole string, or close a string. Okay, so as you can see here, I have our block model from last week. Alright, and the legend for the non-acid forming, high grade oxide, low grade oxide, the green, potentially acid forming is the purple one in the bottom. Here we have the light green for the low grade fresh, and the light red for the high grade fresh. Okay, so this is the block model from last week. I want to see it as an intersection because I'm working flitches, right? So this will be the middle section of the first flitch, the 410 to 405. So we're gonna do a simple block out here. It's important to remember that this needs to be as close to our blast crew can do. Okay, so it's important that we do not make very complicated dig lines, because someone is gonna blast this material, right? And if it's impossible to do it as we want, then it makes no sense in drawing it, alright, because you will not have the result we want. So I'm just gonna draw some simple ones. Okay, I want this piece of ore, this piece of waste, this piece of low grade and mixed with high grade, and this piece of mixed with waste and low grade, and this I'll consider as waste. And we are going to repeat this for the flitch B, and I want to take this potentially acid forming material out. I don't want to mix it with anything else. Okay, and let me just move this point here. Okay, and I think that's fine for now. Let me just insert a point on this one, and I'll create another string here, and I think we can make another one here. Okay, so let's not make it too complicated, because then to mine this, it can be sometimes very hard. Alright, and oops, sorry, I clicked by mistake there. I want to delete that. And okay, so now we're gonna check if everything's alright back there. When you have your jig lines drawn, you can evaluate your block out. Okay, so keep in mind that we can see the results here and all the processes that are working on our controller system. I just cleared the window so you can see it better. Okay, so when you click on evaluate, it will create some walls with the strings we've just done, and it will split the blocks, fill with the block model, and do an evaluation for the solids. Okay, and this is the result we get for Flitch A. This is the result we get for Flitch B. Alright, so let me just quickly run through the table here with you. If I select a block, it will highlight, as you can see there. Okay, and we can also go into more detail. Let's say I want to check how many tones I have of waste on this block, right? So if you right click and you click on show material mix for a block, you'll be able to see that there is a very small amount that is not, no, actually there is not. It's low grade oxide 17.5% and high grade oxide 82.5%. Let's check for this one. This one has 23.6 of high grade oxide, 72.2 of low grade oxide, and 9.2 of non-acid forming rock. Okay, so this is very important that you can see the material mix for the block. Alright, you can also see the summary of the information by each type of materials you have. Okay, it's important to remember that this is a dominant value. Okay, so if more than half of the block is considered low grade oxide or non-acid forming, the whole block will be tagged as that type of rock. Okay, it's about the dominant value, it's not about the average. Alright, here you can see some information, the material type, the tones, the grade control, gold grade, ounces of gold, the resource model grade, copper cobalt area for the block. Okay, so it also has a calculation automatically for the area of this block, which is 10,000.2 square meters, right? And let's move to block B to see the other things. Okay, so we have here, no, actually let's do with block A, because I see here that I have a block number 1 here, number 2 here, and number 3 there. So I'm not really happy with this order, right? What I can do is I can renumber them. Okay, so you click on renumber and you click in the order you want to see the blocks to be. So I clicked firstly here, then here, and this one is automatically changed to 3. But if I want to number them, for example, from right to the left, I click here, and this will become number 1, this is number 2, and this is automatically number 3. Okay, it's up to you guys. I'm just showing you that it's possible to do this. Alright, moving to Flitch B and seeing the Excel report. Let's see how it goes there. We have a template that generates this automatically. This is the data that we can collect from the block, and it's quite important to remember that this is a pivot table. It can be customized with all this information that you have here and even calculations. Okay, so, and this is the tool that will save you a lot of time. Alright, you don't need to run the whole evaluation process on Studio and everything, and then get that result, put in a spreadsheet and do the calculations, or put on a table, then do the reports. No, we can create already the template here for you, so everything will be already saved, and just by clicking there you can see your graphs, you can see the fields you want to see. Okay, this will save you a lot of time, guys. I'm not playing with you. I'm serious. This is a time saving tool which is very important nowadays, because we know that all of us has a lot of have a lot of things to do, and for example need to run some resource estimations or geostats, and this requires a lot of attention and time, right? And patience as well. So if you're busy doing reports on Excel, it's this will make your life easier, very 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 easier. Okay, very much easier for you. So it's important because it saves you a lot of time. All right, and it's fully customizable, so it's up to you what you want to see here. If you want to see volume, if you want to see the density, okay, it's up to you really. Let me close that, and I'm gonna go through the plotted report now. Okay, so we click on the plotted report and it would open the map. Okay, so we have the map here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oops, a little bit too much. So we can see the blocks here, and we have a table with the coordinates, right? The mark out. So we can send this to the surveyors and they will go there and draw the jig lines for both flitches A and B. Alright. And it's important as well to see how your blast movement is going after. Okay. You have a scale bar, you have a grid. If you want to, it's fully customizable. We can take that out, put some legends here, put your logo, everything. And for this one, it's more like a template from Excel as well. We can put the same template that we used there on the Excel report, alright, but it doesn't report the graph here, so it's important to keep that in mind. And it's also a very quick tool to see the table with the results and the blocks and the position and everything in one go. You know what I mean? You just click here, print both maps, you know where you are, you know the blocks, you know the summarized information. Okay, and it's quite important actually if you think about this, right? I can pan the map, for example, like this. If I want to come back here, I can do this. All right, so it's up to you. We can put a scale bar here as well, and you can click here and it will open the printing information. If you want to print to a printer, if you want to print to PDF, it's up to you. Okay, now it will go back to our home, our 3D window, and I am going to clear this. So we're gonna save the block out. Okay, and let's see the rest. All right, so let's go to our publish results. Okay, so we're gonna go to the publish results now. And here, as you can see, we have the published jig plan data. Show our evaluation results, displays block boundaries and block points. Okay, if you click on the start activity, here we have a list of all the files it will be published. Okay, these files will be published and will be available on a folder that you see the path now in a few moments. Let me just go through it here. So we do have a blast block results for Excel. We have blast block boundaries in CSV, datamine, and SIRPAC formats. We have a blast block points in SIRPAC format. We have a displays blast blocks in SIRPAC and a displays block points in SIRPAC as well. Okay. So we click OK and it will save all these files in this path here in the published folder. Okay. As you can see, we have one for results and one for in situ and another one for displaced. All right. Okay, cool. And now to finish, we're gonna run through our reconciliation tool. Update a combined model with all the available blockouts that we have. Okay, so in this case I have the 603, which is another block, and we can update a combined model. This is a different block because it's considered already blocked out, so it's not the same as 604 because I just created the plan for that one. This is considered as already blocked out. Going for the reconciliation report, we select the older surface and the newer surface, and we click on process. Which will calculate the volumes. Okay, once it's done, we save the results and we'll go back to the show reconciliation results. This is just a blank template for now, but you can see that the information will be displayed here. You need to enable the content, and it has a from and to date with the surfaces we use. It's a very basic report, just summarizing the from and to date and the prepared date as well. Okay, date, day, month, and year. We have the tones mine for the blocks, the resource model grade, and the grade control grade. Okay, with a pivot table that also calculates the grand total. So it's possible to do this. Okay.
This is everything we went through today with the OR controller. It's important to remember that all these two parts were covered in less than 1 hour, right? And so you can see that it's a very quick workflow. It's a very important tool for a production geologist section of a mine, and also it counts with the data integrity that a database has on SQL Server, right? So everyone has access to the same central database, and everyone can cross-check the information, can have rollbacks, can have backups for all the files, and it's quite important in my opinion. So I think it should be working in all of the possible operations. Okay. So if you have any other questions, if you want to contact us, please do not hesitate. You have our contacts here. This, as Dr. Benny said, this presentation will be available online on our GoToWebinar page. Okay, so you can watch it as many times as you want. You can show to your team if you want to. And it was a pleasure to have you with us for these 2 first sessions. I hope we'll have some more sessions, and we'll be in touch soon about them. All right. So thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of week, everybody.